Welcome, precious souls, to this sacred midnight moment of deep reflection before the final hour strikes. As darkness covers the earth, an invisible weight presses heavily upon your tired soul tonight. A cold voice whispers within the shadows, declaring that all your golden opportunities are gone. This accuser presents logical evidence of past failures to prove your future is forever closed. But listen closely to the majestic decree of the Sovereign Lord before midnight arrives. When the shadows stretch across your room, a heavy blanket of deep pessimism settles over your fragile mind. The silent, dark arguments seem completely flawless, filling your thoughts with convincing reasons to give up. A persistent whisper echoes in the silence of your heart, coldly repeating that it is already too late. It points directly to the years that have swiftly passed by, claiming your vibrant youth has faded away. The darkness counts every single missed opportunity, reminding you of the gold you carelessly let slip. It builds a towering wall of logical facts, convincing you that the best chapters of life are finished. You feel trapped in a suffocating cage of rising financial debts, unable to find any viable way out. The crushing weight of prolonged isolation whispers that you are completely abandoned in this vast world. Every past mistake is brought forth into the light of your mind, serving as an absolute sentence of doom. The enemy uses your own history against you, making your previous downfalls seem utterly permanent. It analyzes your flaws with mathematical precision, leaving no room for hope or unexpected changes. A dark conclusion is forced upon your weary soul, stating that your glorious destiny has been revoked. The cold arithmetic of the world dictates that your current broken state cannot be repaired by any means. It tells you that the door to absolute joy and abundant restoration has been locked forevermore. You look at the ticking hands of time and feel an overwhelming sense of ultimate defeat creeping in. The whisper claims that your internal wounds are far too deep to ever experience genuine healing again. It presents a highly rational argument that running away or hiding is your only logical option left. The shadow demands your total surrender to this dark reality, asking you to accept a life of sorrow. It binds your spiritual posture with invisible chains of intense grief, sealing your eyes against tomorrow. Under this immense pressure, your heart begins to believe that a hopeless resignation is the only escape. But now, hear the thunderous counterargument of your sovereign creator, piercing through the midnight gloom. I step into your deep darkness with an eternal truth that completely shatters the lies of the accuser. Within my infinite reality, the human concept of being too late does not exist for even a moment. I am the Alpha and the Omega, holding the keys of time and the destinies of all generations in my hand. If I can command the cold, lifeless dead to stand up and breathe again, what is impossible for me? If my supreme voice can split the roaring Red Sea in two, I can easily pave a path through your debt. Rebuilding your shattered life from the cold ashes of failure requires only a simple snap of my fingers. The finite world operates strictly under rigid physical limits, but I govern by the laws of miracles. Do not measure my boundless supernatural capabilities by the narrow standards of human understanding. The crushing losses you have experienced are not the tragic end of your story, but a grand beginning. What you perceive as a dark burial is actually my divine process of planting a powerful, holy seed. The seed must be cast deep into the dark, quiet earth so that its old form can completely pass away. Unless it falls and breaks open in the hidden soil, it can never grow to bear abundant, glorious fruit. I am carefully cultivating a magnificent harvest of joy right inside the center of your deepest pain. Every tear you have wept in isolation has been safely gathered and preserved in my heavenly golden vial. Your heavy financial burdens and broken relationships are merely raw materials for my next great wonder. I do not look at your past transgressions. I look at the beautiful destiny I designed for you. The darkness uses logic to paralyze your steps, but my grace uses love to elevate your spiritual sight. Look beyond the visible barriers of this temporary world and look directly into my eternal promises. No system of this earth can ever overrule the sovereign word that I have spoken over your life. I am actively reversing the negative timelines that the enemy tried to establish in your weak moments. My glorious light is now exposing the absolute emptiness of every argument the shadow brought against you. Take courage, my child, for the supreme authority of the universe is actively fighting on your behalf. Let my warm, divine voice settle the raging storms of anxiety that have kept your mind awake so long. Receive my heavenly perspective tonight, knowing that your ultimate victory has already been fully decreed. A violent spiritual war is now raging directly upon the sacred altar of your human mind tonight. On one side, the suffocating chains of past trauma seek to drag you back down into the mud of self-pity. On the opposing side, my radiant hand of blazing glory is reaching out to pull your spirit upward. This intense tug-of war between faith and total despair has left your human intellect completely exhausted. If you stood at this critical crossroads tonight, would you choose to surrender or trust my invisible power? You genuinely want to believe my comforting words, yet the raw pain of your old wounds still aches deeply. The bitter memory of previous betrayals acts like a sharp thorn, piercing your fragile shield of active faith. The dark accuser works tirelessly in these late hours, trying to amplify your natural human vulnerabilities. The enemy knows with absolute certainty that their allowed time to torment your soul is running out. Because their final hour is swiftly approaching, they are deploying their entire dark army against you tonight. They want to overwhelm your senses with fear, desperate to make you throw away your spiritual inheritance. They are trying to force your signature onto a contract of permanent failure right before the dawn breaks. Every heavy doubt that crosses your mind is a desperate arrow shot from the retreating camps of darkness. Do not be deceived by the extreme loudness of the storm, for it signals the enemy's utter panic. When the night reaches its darkest hour, will you allow fear to silence the eternal promise I gave you? Your mind is tired from the constant mental wrestling, but remember that you are never fighting alone. The scars of your past are being fiercely contested in this unseen battlefield of the tactical saw ban. The shadow attempts to blind your vision so that you cannot see the angelic hosts surrounding your life. Hold fast to the tiny spark of hope remaining in your heart, even if it feels incredibly weak. The intense pressure you are experiencing right now is proof that a glorious breakthrough is very near. Do not bow down to the terrifying illusions of the night, for they have no real power over my grace. Stand firm against the final, desperate wave of spiritual oppression, because your liberation is at hand. Listen, the grand astronomical clock finally strikes 12, marking the absolute end of the old day. Here is my definitive sovereign word for your soul as the heavy midnight chimes echo through space. You do not need to fight this exhausting intellectual battle using your own limited human strength. I do not ask you to possess perfect theology or flawless logic. I simply ask for your total surrender. Hand over the fractured pieces of your broken life and place them completely into my almighty hands. Let us combine your profound human brokenness with my absolute, limitless divine power tonight. Together, we shall establish a brand new eternal covenant that no earthly force can ever dismantle. Write this supreme spiritual law upon your heart. When you are weak, my strength is made perfect. Your extreme insufficiency provides the perfect canvas for my all-sufficient grace to be fully displayed. At this exact moment, as the old calendar closes, all your past financial debts are spiritually erased. Every curse, every ancestral sorrow, and all your accumulated bad luck are now permanently buried deep. The old timeline has collapsed into total nothingness, leaving no trace of its heavy burdens behind. The divine Kintsugi process is complete, fusing your historical cracks with brilliant molten gold. Tomorrow morning, you will awaken as a completely new creation, filled with immortal life and peace. Step boldly into the radiant light of a fresh day, carrying the absolute trophy of my eternal victory. The Creator has spoken his final covenant tonight, burying your past sorrows beneath the midnight bells. Do you believe his divine grace can rewrite your life from ashes, or will you accept despair? Comment below. Kindly support our mission by liking, sharing, and subscribing to receive more urgent prophetic messages.